Okay, we got a humdinger of an episode here. Today we're going to fix the lawnmower. I know, it's not as romantic as going to Ireland or learning how to dance or moonwalking or any of the fun stuff that I've been doing. But boy, this is a very important skill to learn, and I feel like it needs to be included. First off, being able to repair things is second to my college degree, probably the most important thing I've ever learned. My dad taught me how to fix cars when I was a kid, and this alone has saved me at least $100,000 over the 30-ish years I've been driving. And it applies to everything you have to buy, from house repairs to clothing to appliances. Just super valuable skill to have. You don't need to be an expert. Just a little curiosity and a lot of YouTube will get you there. In this case, we're going to save about $350 today by fixing the lawnmower. So I bought this guy in 2011 for $179.99 at Lowe's when we bought our house. We've used it for this backyard here, which is just like a regular city lot. It's gone for 12 years now, never had a problem, never not started up. When I went to start it in the spring, though, it sounded like this. And then after it stopped running, I could not get it to fire at all, no matter how many times I tried. The pull rope seemed to be working fine. Nothing was stopping the engine from spinning, so I immediately narrowed it down to some sort of internal issue. Here's a brief explanation of how an engine works. It's very oversimplified. I'm sorry I don't have an animated graphic, but this should at least give you an idea of what's happening inside any engine anyway. In order to use exploding dinosaurs to mow your lawn, you need three things: air, gas, and spark. The air comes in here, the gas comes in right below it, and they go into a thing called a carburetor, which is under here. That mixes the air and the gas, kind of like a spray bottle, a mister, and shoots it into here, the cylinder, where the mist sits until the spark plug fires a spark and blows it up. The explosion pushes this little piston down the cylinder, which turns the engine or the blade, and then the exhaust is pulled out through here by the muffler. The piston comes back up, is ready for another shot from the carburetor. The cycle repeats, and that's how the mower blade spins. Simple enough, right? So if your engine is turning but not firing, it's either missing air, gas, or spark. So the first thing I did is pulled the air filter off and clean it. It just takes a flathead screwdriver and the filter comes out from the little casing. Usually it's not that bad. You can just kind of wipe the dirt and grime on a towel or something, or the cement. But if it's really dirty, you can also wash it with a special cleaner like mineral spirits, or I just use Dawn Ultra in the sink. But make sure if you do that, that the filter is completely dry before you put it back. You do not want water getting in the engine. While you have the filter off, you can also see if the engine's getting gas as well. Just push the primer button down here and you should see a little shot of gas going through this little hole. In my case, both of these things were fine. So if you're getting air and you're getting gas, you must be missing spark, right? And the spark plug is the source of that. It's in this case right here in front of the engine. There's a wire on the front. Make sure that's on tight when you're diagnosing. Might solve you a bunch of problems. If you want to take it apart and look at it, which I did, just take the wire off the back, use any pliers or crescent wrench. I happen to have a socket that works, so I use that. When I pulled it out, you can see it's wet with something, gas, oil, water, we don't know yet, and it is definitely dirty. So rather than replace it right away, I was still working on it, so I decided to clean it instead. And I did that with a little wire brush and a towel and put it back in. When I pulled the cord, it fired up and ran for about 5 seconds, just like before, and then stopped. And I couldn't get it to start again, just like before. So the light bulb finally went off when I went to look at the muffler, of all things. And this, by the way, is hot if you have been running the engine, so wait till it cools down. But I took it off and it was very sooty and full of oil. And then it dawned on me, I remembered that before I'd put it away last fall, I decided to sharpen the blade. And that violates the #1 rule of repair and maintenance, as anybody who has a grandpa will tell you. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. When I went to get the blade off, I flipped the lawnmower up on its side with the muffler facing down, and the oil that was in the crankcase ran through the cylinder and out down through the muffler, and that was basically gunking up the entire combustion process. Now, in this case, it had been so bad, so poorly done, that the spark plug was so sooted that when I cleaned it, it just gunked right back up again. If you still exhibit this problem, you can take the head off fairly easily. You got about 10 bolts right here that you got to remove, and make sure you do them evenly. And when you put them back on, you use the same tension that it took to get them off. Don't over tighten them or under tighten them. And then you can kind of clean out the cylinder if it's really bad. But that pretty much did it. Replacing the spark plug was enough. I was about at the point of buying a new mower, which are now $300 to $400. And instead, through a little bit of diagnosis and a little bit of critical thinking, I was able to replace it for $5 and it runs just fine now. So just keep that in mind, that regular people can do these types of things. It may take a little bit of time. It may be frustrating. You maybe get it wrong a little bit of the way, but hopefully with a little bit of practice, you too can learn to fix things around the house or in your car. So hopefully this helps. I'll keep coming with projects as they come up. And if you have any suggestions, leave them in the comments. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you in the next video. In the meantime, stay bad, people. NonGone is gone.